Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Concepts and Context of Business Strategy, Chapter number 5, Part 2. Learning objectives are demonstrate an understanding of different strategy tools, growth share, and business attractiveness metrics and balanced scorecard. Recognize what it means to create strategy that changes the rules for a market or for an industry. Understand the importance of pursuing integrated network or supply chain strategies. Tools for designing strategy. Growth share metrics, multi-factor metrics are attractiveness strength metrics, balanced scorecard. So far, we have discussed what strategy is. A strategy management model that can be used at any level of hierarchy of a firm, and the key ideas for structuring strategy no matter at what level of the organization. Our focus has been on the business marketing manager who makes strategy for an individual product, for a product line, or for marketing function of an SBU. Let's discuss one by one. Let's start with the growth share metrics. What is growth share metrics? Boston Consulting Group has developed this growth share metrics that shows that the growth share matrix, which was developed by the Boston Consulting Group over 30 years ago. Students may recognize this resource allocation tool and its categorization of SBUs as stars, cash cows, dogs, and question mark. This tool is probably best used to illustrate the construction of business portfolio to create a company that will evolve and remain profitable over time. The idea underlying the growth share matrix is that organizations seek to develop and nourish those business opportunities with the greatest potential for growth, maintain those that are self-sustaining producers of resources, and harvest, exit while reappealing as much benefits as possible. Those that are no longer able to function productively within the organization. This is not unlike an individual seeking the greatest return from his or her own personal investment portfolio. When we look at the stars, it means that high growth markets and large market share. Cash cow means relatively slower growth markets where the business unit has prominent market share and maybe the market owner, albeit in a slower market. Dogs means slow or negative growth relative to the goals of the organization with a less than the prominent market share. While the question marks significantly attractive market potential through the business unit does not have a significant share. Growth share matrix. Let's discuss the star. Star means the organization must invest heavily to maintain position in the growing market. A star could likely be a business unit with a prominent position in a product market. That is the growth stage of PLC. Star should be managed with market ownership as an objective. And the next one is cash cow in growth share matrix. This cash cow is relatively slower growth markets where the business unit has prominent market share and maybe the market owner in a slower market. As the name implies, these business units generate cash that fuels other parts of the organization. Business units identified as cash cows are often in the lead growth, mature, or even decline stages of the PLC. Next, question marks. Significantly attractive market potential. Though the business unit does not have a significant share, question marks are appropriately named. The business may require significant investment, may not be directly associated with the competencies of the firm, and may never grow to to be a prosperous business. This situation could exist when an organization discovers a technology or business opportunity not aligned with corporate goals, or in a new and unfamiliar market, are not consistent with the company's core lines of business. Question marks raise the question: should the organization diversify or divest? Question marks can be viewed as in the introductory or early growth stages of PLC. Dogs. Dogs means slow or negative growth relative to the goals of the organization with a less than prominent market share. With a direct analogy to the PLC places dogs in the decline stage. Dogs can occur at any stage of the PLC except growth. Organization must choose to either divest the business or continue to harvest it from short-term cash. In some instances, as dominant market share is not sufficient to make these SBUs attractive, particularly when the resources to maintain the business can be more effectively applied elsewhere. Growth share matrix and product life cycle is explained in this exhibit. The growth share matrix has several characteristics that can limit its usefulness in today's business environment. First, one of the key assumptions is questionable. The relationship between market share and profitability is suspect. This tends to undermine the validity of analysis and its implications, depending on the organizational measurement of the success. A myopic market view can be an implementation of market share as principal measure of success. Multi-factor portfolio matrix. Most companies do not use 2x2 growth share matrix to allocate resources across business units. Rather, they use a similar but more sophisticated tool. The GE Market Attractiveness Business Strength Matrix is shown in the exhibit. Something similar to it. This model assumes that at low levels of abstraction, no new competencies will be built and gives preferences to those businesses or products in which the company already has competencies in place. This tool does not directly consider synergies between business or products. Unlike growth share matrix, though, future business strength can be defined in such a way to give a higher score to a business or product that makes better use of available resources. Thus, this tool offers more sophistication than growth share matrix. Even though the idea of building a business portfolio is not new, it still has relevance today. It makes sense to have business that create resources that can be used in other businesses that require investment. Then, augmenting the portfolio idea with today's strategy concepts, a company may stick to business in which it has special competencies. The balanced scorecard, another tool, one that can integrate the steps of strategic management process, has received a great deal of attention over the last 10 years or so. The balanced scorecard is as much a process itself as a tool for strategy content. It focuses on the goals of the organization and qualifies these into specific performance targets. The idea is to get away from sole reliance on measures that are rooted in the past, such as return on investment, sales growth, and market share, and concentrate also on measures that are forward-looking, given the company's particular situation. Goals and measures are specified in four core areas: financial performance perspective, customer perspective, internal business perspective, and stakeholder. For instance, upper level management, partners and channels, value perspective. Linkages between these perspectives are defined and a limited number of measures are sought. The process pursued in developing the scorecard starts with managers discussing their vision of the future and what will contribute to it. A facilitator draws a list of potential scorecard criteria from these discussions and presents it to the strategy making participants. They discuss these and come to some agreement on strategy and a shorter list of measures. Further discussion set the vision, objective and measures. A set of activities to address the performance targets is designed and implementation plans instituted. Data are collected and compared to the targets. Performance is then the driver for strategy and strategy changes. Note that this approach is consistent with the strategic management model. Special issues in business strategy. Let's discuss the strategy implication of value networks and integrated supply chain. In this volatile environment, winning strategies will hinge on developing a portfolio of core competencies. One of these competencies must be flexibility to change strategies and operating models rapidly. And it depends upon agility, adaptability, and alignment of members' interest. The idea of building in flexibility, though fast virtual vertical integration stands diametrically opposed to the current trend toward integrated supply chain management. Most efforts to integrate supply chains have tended toward a reduced number of suppliers, lean inventory structure, and supply chains serving the primary interest of one large customer. These supply chains have been structured for efficiency and cost elimination. Supply chains have achieved low cost at the expense of being able to adjust to changing supply economies and changing customer needs. Special issues in business strategy. The next one is strategy development and internet. The internet can be used to do several things that are to factor into the strategist thinking. It can increase the speed with which the environment changes. It can reduce transaction costs, shipping costs, information costs, and inventory costs. It can increase the level of information available to customers and competitors. It can increase the capability to create an offering that is seamlessly pieced together from several partners' offerings, particularly when a website is principal delivery mechanism for the offering. Special issues in business strategy, and the next thing is strategic implication of market ownership. The portfolio of strategic competencies, either internal, the result of diversification, or integration, or external, the result of relationship developed through a network of value providers, is key to pursuing market ownership. If company chooses competencies to develop that are important in multiple businesses, the company can hope to produce value for customers across a range of possible futures. By taking a proactive approach and pushing the envelope within a market, the company can shape that market and nature of its participants. The process to produce this strategy does not have to differ much from the process described earlier. While traditional strategic planning processes are not geared for the uncertainty or speed of change engendered by the internet, the process can be adapted to focus on monitoring the environment and performance, updating knowledge of the environment, and adjusting the strategy accordingly. Special issues in business strategy, strategy development in new businesses. Even though problems persist, executives in new companies should not forego the strategy planning process. Strategy development in new business-to-business organization is a particularly relevant topic in light of activity in business-to-business internet startups over the past decade or so. One advantage of starting a business-to-business operation is that often one customer can be the principal reason for going into business. That customer can provide all the financing in whatever form that the new business needs. The danger is that the new ventures business will become completely dependent on one customer and will ignore any opportunities elsewhere. This may leave the new company in an unenviable position of having all its eggs in the same basket, being too dependent on one customer. So new ventures that plan tend to do better than the new ventures that do not, even if their plans rapidly become works of fiction as the environment changes. So that's why strategic planning is very important, and companies has to do plan. Thank you. That's all for the second part of this chapter. Thank you.